Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning into today's video. We have more gaming and PlayStation news, rumours and leaks to go over. A huge shout out and thanks to the God of War and Uncharted channel members. And if you're new here to the channel, consider subscribing and becoming a channel member. In a recent chat on the Easy Allies podcast, former PlayStation indie head Shuhei Yoshida opened up about the game that's been flying a little under the radar, but is quickly gaining attention. And that game is Ghost of Yotei, the next big title from Sucker Punch Productions. Now, for those who don't know, where the hell have you been? Sucker Punch is the studio behind Ghost of Tsushima, a critically acclaimed open-world samurai game that launched on the PS4 and then later onto the PS5. It won praise for its stunning visuals, smooth combat and emotional storytelling. So naturally, the bar is set very high for Ghost of Yotei. Yoshida has had the rare opportunity and the chance to play early builds of the game while it was still in development. And according to him, even at that very early stage in development, Ghost of Yotei just felt right. The controls were tight, movement was fluid, and most importantly, it was fun to play. That's something he says studios like Sucker Punch and Naughty Dog consistently get right, making games feel so intuitive that you almost forget you're holding a controller. He also mentioned that during his time at PlayStation, he got to test out multiple versions of Ghost of Tsushima and Ghost of Yotei. Even after he left the company, the game's producer would still invite him back to try out new builds of the game and offer his feedback. And each time, Yoshida came away very impressed, and he goes on to say it always felt great, which is a good sign considering how many changes the combat system has reportedly gone through. As for the game's release details, Sucker Punch has confirmed that Ghost of Yotei is set to launch sometime in 2025, exclusively for the PS5. There's still a lot we don't know about the game, like the story of the game, the characters involved, or how it's connected, if it is at all, to Ghost of Tsushima. But based on what we've heard and seen so far from the trailer, it's definitely one of those AAA Sony PlayStation first-party games that we've been craving for what almost feels like for many years. What are your thoughts on Ghost of Yotei from what you've seen and heard so far? Let me know in the comments below and let's move on. Now let's talk about something a little darker. One of my favorite subjects, horror games. A game called Cronos, The New Dawn, which is the next project from horror game studio Bloober Team. If the name sounds familiar, that's because Bloober recently made the headlines with their remake of Silent Hill 2, which was widely praised for capturing the eerie tension of the original game. Their new game, Cronos: The New Dawn, takes a bold step into the sci-fi horror genre, and it's looking quite intense. The game just got a full gameplay reveal, and it paints a grim picture set in a world that's been torn apart by a mysterious event known as the Change. The story moves between two different time periods, the post-apocalyptic future and 1980s Poland. You play as a character known as the Traveler, an agent working for an organization called The Collective. Your job in the game is to jump through time rifts and rescue certain people from the past before they meet their end. You're basically bringing these individuals into the future, a future that's been overrun by horrifying mutated creatures. These monsters are one of the game's standout features. They're twisted, nightmarish beings born from what's left of humanity. And there is a catch. If you let them merge, they get stronger, much stronger. So the game throws a layer of strategy into the combat. Do you take down enemies fast or risk them combining into something much worse? From a gameplay perspective, Cronos is shaping up to be a third-person survival horror title in the same spirit as Resident Evil or Dead Space. Expect over-the-shoulder combat, limited resources, and lots of tense, edge-of-your-seat encounters. One of the more intriguing aspects of the game is the game's setting. The game blends retro-futuristic tech with Eastern European brutalist architecture. Think concrete buildings, analog machines, and a sense of oppressive bleakness. It creates an atmosphere that's both haunting and immersive, perfect for a horror experience. Bloober Team even joked in the past that they were done making shitty games, and based on what we've seen so far, they might be delivering on that promise. If the narrative can live up to its intriguing time travel concept, Cronos: The New Dawn could be another strong title in their growing list of horror hits. And Cronos: The New Dawn is scheduled to release later this year on the PS5, another game that's coming out in 2025. I don't know how we're going to play these games. For me, this game ticks so many boxes. I like how it's another gritty horror game, and from the clips that I've seen so far, it's giving me the Dead Space and Callisto Protocol vibes. Are you a fan of horror games? What are your thoughts on Cronos: The New Dawn? Let me know in the comments down below, and let's move on. Let's talk about The Witcher 4, a game that's been on the radar of RPG fans for a while now, but recently it's been at the center of some confusion. If you've been hearing rumors or getting emails about beta tests for the next Witcher game, it's time to pause for a second, because the developers at CD Projekt Red have officially come out and said those invites are completely fake. In a recent post on their official Witcher account on X, CD Projekt Red warned the community that there are scam messages going around claiming to offer access to a Witcher 4 beta. According to the studio, no such beta exists at this present time. So if you've received one of these so-called invites in your inbox or seen it floating around across social media, don't fall for it. CD Projekt Red go on to say that we've been getting reports from community members that they've been invited to a beta test for The Witcher 4. This is a scam. We're taking steps to remove this kind of messaging, but if you've come across it, please report it. The post ended on a playful note that carried a serious message, and it goes on to say, "Remember, professional monster slayers don't fall for scams. They see right through them and slay them. So if you're hoping to be part of an early test for the game, just keep in mind, when that time comes, it'll be officially announced through CD Projekt Red's verified channels like their website and social media pages. Anything else is almost definitely fake." And now that's cleared up, let's talk about the actual game. We've got our first glimpse or first reveal of The Witcher 4 during the Game Awards back in December 2024. And while the trailer didn't show actually anything, one major detail did stand out, and that is the story will be centered around Ciri. The new game will shift the spotlight to Ciri, a powerful character fans will remember from The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. She was already a fan favorite back then, but now she's stepping into the lead role for the game. Naturally, the change has sparked a lot of debate amongst fans because, after all, Geralt was the face of the series since the beginning, and he was the main character for the Witcher series. He was everybody's favorite, and to replace him it's a big risk. He's a beloved character with a rich backstory, and for many people, The Witcher just wouldn't feel the same without him in the game. Now, Philip Weber, the narrative director at CD Projekt Red, is well aware of this, and in an interview with VGC, Weber acknowledged that making Ciri the main character was a big decision, and one that might not sit well with everyone straight away. And he goes on to say that, "I think we definitely knew it could be controversial for some people. In the previous 3 Witcher games, Geralt was the protagonist. I think everyone really loved playing him in the game. I really love playing him in the game." But Weber also emphasized that the team didn't make this decision overnight. In fact, they've been planning it for a very long time. The goal is now to show players that Ciri just isn't a substitute character. She actually brings something new and exciting to the table. And he added that if people feel like they still prefer to play as Geralt, that's a valid concern. And our job is to prove that Ciri can be just as compelling, if not more so, as the lead character. There's a lot we can do with her story, and we want to make that journey worth it. With regards to The Witcher 4, we don't have all the answers yet, like specific gameplay mechanics, a release date, or how the story will unfold. There's no doubt that The Witcher 4 is shaping up to be one of the most anticipated games to come out over the next few years. We know it's going to be built using Unreal Engine 5, which means a huge leap in visuals and world building potential, and with CD Projekt Red taking lessons from both Cyberpunk 2077 and the earlier Witcher titles, there's hope that the next chapter will be even more polished and immersive. Of course, there's still a long way to go before we're slaying monsters with Ciri at the helm, but for now it's exciting to see where the franchise is headed. Just remember to stay alert, avoid the scams, and keep an eye on the official channels for real updates. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below about the topics in the video today. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.